Our next guest authored the No Tax on Tips Act. It has support from both sides of the aisle. Joining us now, Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, it's good to have you in. I think you're in a hostile audience here. I know.
Just on the tips.
Just on
that's
the
all
tips.
right.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I feel confident that y'all are not getting paid through tips.
We are
no,
not.
but I have.
We are not, but we might ask to be paid in tips depending on how this goes.
Yeah, down the road, who knows, right? I used to work at McDonald's. No, wait a second. I guess I actually didn't. But it sounds good.
Well, you may be the next president,
yeah,
Joe. That's pretty good. That is a qualification.
I could be. Just explain what you do tell the rest of the world why they have to pay taxes on however they get compensation. But
well, listen, I'm not hearing a whole lot of people that are feeling grumpy that the waitress at Denny's is not having to pay taxes on tips. You look at tips, it's people who are typically climbing the economic ladder. They're often just getting started, whether it's waiters and waitresses or taxi cab drivers or bartenders or hairdressers or people who work at a nail salon. They're folks who are struggling. They're not tending to make a ton of money, and the paperwork and the burden of paying taxes on tips, I think it's not justified. I also think, I think Republicans, we are and should be the party of blue-collar workers, the party of jobs. President Trump came up with the idea. He announced it at the Vegas rally. And when I heard it, I said, that's a phenomenal idea. So I turned to my team, said, let's draft it. And, it says something. When I filed the bill within days, both of the Nevada senators, both Democrats, Catherine Cortez Masto and Jackie Rosen, came up and joined it immediately. And this is endorsed by both the National Restaurant Association and the Culinary Union. When you're bringing together all of the players, I think it's just a good idea.
Can I just lay out? And I understand where you're coming from. I get it. I was a waitress. Yeah. I earned $2.05 an hour.
Server, I believe, is the new.
I was a waitress and a bartender.
Server.
When that's what they were called.
Yeah.
The reason I did the job was for the tips.
Did you wear flair?
No, I didn't. I know it was not at Fridays. But the reason I did it was because of the tips.
Yeah.
I made a lot of money. Yeah. It was great. My daughter was a waitress, server this year.
Yes, server.
Made a lot of
Please.
tips. The reason that's a big complaint now is it was never something where it was really tracked before. So people were keeping that money and not paying tips. Now everything's electronic. You get paid out on your tips. And people are mad because they feel like they took a pay cut because they were never paying on the tips that were coming in before and weren't being tracked. My biggest problem with this is what it does for other employees who aren't. And I'm not talking a lot of others, but
teachers, nurses.
I have a special needs daughter. They have aides who are one-to-one aides. Mm-hmm. They make $16 an hour, maybe, sometimes less. And now you're going to have an incentive for them to go do other jobs, to go get tip jobs instead of doing the jobs where, it just creates, it's the unintended consequences.
Yeah, look,
what happens to that?
I get that argument, and I am a fan of broad-based tax reform. I think low taxes, you're mentioning different professions. Look, I think that's one of the big things at stake in this election and the difference between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. The Wall Street Journal calls this election the $6 trillion election because that's the delta between how much taxes will go up versus going down or being cut more. You'll recall when I ran for president, I ran on a simple flat tax of 16% simple flat tax for business, 10% simple flat tax for families and individuals. I think simplicity is a great approach to tax reform. But at the same time, I don't think the perfect should be the enemy of the good. And when you deal with tipped employees, there are often people who are struggling. They're struggling to raise young kids.
There's a lot of employees who are W-2 employees who are struggling, too.
Sure, and I'm for cutting their taxes, too.
But when we went through the process of raising minimum wage at places like Walmart, Target, the fast food restaurants in California now, you can make $20 an hour for doing some of these things. It's great for the employees who are there, but it really draws from the other areas where they can't pay that same amount. It would make more sense to me to raise the earned income tax credit so that anybody making below a certain level can get taxes off. It just seems like a fairer way of going about it that does not create those unintended consequences.
So what I would say is what California is doing, I think, is exactly backwards, where they jacked the minimum wage up so high that you're seeing restaurants going out of business. You're seeing restaurants laying people off. You're seeing pizza delivery.
This is essentially a tax. This is essentially a wage increase for workers in certain jobs and not in others.
Right, but it's not coming out of the hide of the employer, so nobody will lose their job because of no taxes on tips. No business will go out of business. California's idea.
Shortages in other jobs where they're not making tips. Everybody's going to want to be paid in a tip basis.
So that argument I actually think is specious. The thing that everyone will get paid on tips. Let me tell you why, actually, because it gets said a lot. But look, the IRS already defines tax fraud. So you can't have a lawyer who says instead of an hourly bill, I just have my whole compensation on tips. You get prosecuted for that because that's not a cash tip.